Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Dylan, and I'm back again with another comic book review. Now, today, I got a special one, man, and I've been just enjoying this so much. Dead Eyes, issue 3, coming straight out of Image Comics, being written by Gerry Duggan. This man can do no wrong in my book right now, man. He has been killing it, like with Marauders, this, and dude, he killed it on that Conan 2099 one shot. I'm talking Conan with a damn lightsaber, and he slayed it. Like, man, and we got John McCrea doing the arts. Colorist is Mike Spicer, and the letterer is Joe Sabino. Oh man, this was just so good. I love these covers. The they add like one color, and then the rest is kind of like a Noray feel. And man, it picks exactly where we left off. Kind of like a couple hours later from where issue 2 ended. And Dead Eyes is basically visiting his wife and kind of trying to kind of have like a little cover because his buddy that he was doing that heist with got badly injured, so he had to take him to the hospital. And basically, he used it as kind of like his alibi, like, oh, I'm went to go visit my wife. And he ends up, saying his goodbyes because visiting hours are over. And he overhears that his roommate, his wife's roommate in the hospital is, she requested to get the Wi-Fi password, and they're like, the nurse is like, I'm sorry, you'll have to ask billing for premium care. And then, Dead Eyes. I gotta think. I gotta see what his name is. I always forget. But he's like, it's Mr. Dobbs. What's his first? Maybe we'll get to that. But he's like fucking Dracula's, and man, dude, I just love the character of this guy. He's just so cool. Um, Next we get into, he's walking around. He goes to pay his wife's bill, and there, cash or credit. He's like, cash. Banks won't let me use plastic no more. And he's like, put the change on her account, please. I'll pay to turn on the TV and Wi-Fi for my wife's roommate Sharon. I'm sorry, that was coming out wrong. And yeah, what is it? Martin Dobbs. I was gonna say John Dobbs, but Martin Dobbs is Deadeye's real name. So man, look at that kindness though. Like he paid for the woman, his wife's next door, his wife's roommate's Wi-Fi. I thought that was pretty damn cool of him. And he ends up going like, "Excuse me, nurse. How's that hobo I saw arrive in the shopping cart earlier?" And the nurse quickly goes like, "I can't give out patient information, but his friends are with him." That's nice. Deadeye goes, and he's to himself. He's thinking like, "What fucking friends? This guy ain't got no friends." And he's like, the north. He goes and walks past his door, and he's like, "The North End accents tell me everything I need to know. The men bracing wheels, they're not cops." And quickly you overhear them like bugging him, like, "What's Deadeye's name?" Like, and he's like, "Fuck if I know." And even that beaten down and all like that, but the thing is, he doesn't know who Deadeyes is. So even if he wanted to give it up, he doesn't know who Deadeyes is. So, and the thing is, he'll end up getting killed by the mob because they won't believe that he doesn't know. So he's screwed no matter what. And he's talking to himself, and he's like, "The mob thinks I stole a shitload of their money. Then I get seen with wheels, and they're gonna punch his ticket, cause he doesn't know my name, like I said, and they won't believe him. If there's only two of them, I can beat him down with this nitrous oxide tank." And this shit's just so funny, man. I really have enjoyed this. And These mobsters are, talking like, "I got a private ambulance on the way coming to get you." And he's like, we'll get him out here and down to the meat market and see if his memory's still so bad." And he's like, "Guys, you got it all wrong." The guy that's beat down. And Deadeyes walks in as a nurse, or as like a doctor, nurse, or whatever. And he's like, "Pardon, gentlemen." uh the guy's quickly wheels is like, "Dude," he's like, "Hey doc, can you get these guys out of here? Like, I don't know them." And he's like, "Ha, you must have got your bell rung pretty good, man, because the nurse just told me that these are your friends." And he's like, best to just lie back and relax. And he's like, let the professionals do their job. And I guess the mob kind of saw him at that. He gave off a wrong vibe. So he sends one of the mobsters to go get him. But what most people didn't notice, I'm sure, is he takes that nitrous oxide, instead of beating them with it at first, he turns the tank on to let some of that funny gas start leaking out. And one of the fat mobsters starts chasing him down, like, hey, you, come here, come here. And he's like, I don't know if I can get to my gun in my bag in time. He's like, and the mobster's like, stop there. And he's like, fuck you, dude. And he's like, what was it? Oh, he's like, I did some welding in the 80s. I was always told that I could never go into like the MRI tubes. The M is for magnetic, if you didn't know. As my friend here is about to find out. And, dude, it's so funny. He basically sets him up, and he's like, this is your last chance, dude. And he's like, holy shit, it's you. He's like, fucking A, dead eyes. He's like, boss is gonna give me my button for this one. And he's like, that reminds me, I got a button for you, too. The power button on the MRI machine. Dude, like, it's just so cool. And then the guy's wearing metal, a chain, he's holding a gun, and he quickly gets pressed against the thing. He's like, ah, my chain, my chain. And he's like, ah, yes, now I recall. Or he's like, where did I leave those unclean scalpels I nicked? And he's like, oh yeah, I recall. They're across the room, right from you. And he's like, please turn it off. And dude, the scalpel goes like right through his eye. Like, man, this artwork is just so good. This book has just been every issue. I mean, it's my opinion. I like these mobster type stories. And this has just been really, like, so fun. And he kills that guy. And he's like, how many more are on the way? Well, he doesn't kill him. He basically tortures him. He puts him through so much pain, he gets him to tell him. He gets the mobster to snitch right off rip. And he's like, how many more are on the way? 2 more and a private ambulance. Stay here until the cops find you. So he actually leaves him alive. I said that wrong. And he's like, it's time, I gotta make a decision. If I can't grab wheels and get out in 2 minutes, I gotta pull the fire alarm and walk away. It will save his life. He's like, I should walk away, but the mask gives me another idea. And the mobsters and Wheels are in the room, just laughing nonstop from that funny gas. And Wheels is laughing so hard, he's like, my stitches are coming undone. But he looks in the bag and stuff. Man, I really just enjoy this artwork. It goes just so perfect with the story. And he comes in, he's like, lie down or I'll kill you. The mobsters, they don't even know how to react. They're just laughing. They're like, shoot. They're like, go ahead, shoot. Like, like laughing their asses off. Quickly gets the nut kick. And, dude, cracks him with the dang tank. And, oh man, like, after he gets kicked in the balls, he's still laughing. He just whacks him across the mouth with that. Oh man, it was just so cool. And he's like, man, they know, they're like, dead eyes. And he's like, I can't feel, Wheels is like, I can't feel nothing now. And he starts biting the guy with the gun that was actually about to shoot Dead Eyes. And freaking Dead Eyes ends up taking that nitrous oxide tank and literally cracking his skull. Hold on. Sorry about that. Cracking his skull. Man, this book definitely ain't for no kiddies, man. I'll tell you that. This is an adult comic book, and man, it's just so good, so good. I don't know how if other people are going as nuts about this as I am, but I just have had so much fun with this. They quickly escape from the hospital. Dead Eyes is like, we gotta go. And they end up bringing one. They end up taking one of the guys with them. Who, I can't, I gotta see who, oh, okay. I know who it is, hold on. We'll get to that. And they're like, why are we bringing him? And they're like, we need answers. Tie him up, Wheels. I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, is Wheels in the condition to really do anything? Like, let alone tie this guy up? And he's like, Wheels' places is a couple minutes away. And, he takes him to, I don't know if this is like, it almost looked like this was maybe Wheels' partner. And what the fuck, Deadeyes? And he's like, I know it doesn't look it, but he owes me his life. And Wheels goes twice actually. And he's like, I'm on the clock. Check his pockets. I left extra for his care. And you know, his partner, it seems, I don't know that for sure, but it seems that way. I mean, the way they're hugging and stuff, and how worried he was. He's like, I knew something terribly went wrong. He's like, I'm so glad you're alive. And Deadeyes goes, you know, I don't want to have to hurt you to this guy that he is, you know, kidnapped or whatever to get answers. And he's like, I certainly don't want to have to kill you. And he's like, but I need honest answers. Why are the Italians up my ass? And he's like, you kidding me? Taking $10 million of Don DiGlormano's money? Maybe that'll do it. And he's like, I never took down a score even close to that. And he's like, did you whack his nephew? You were seen leaving the fens the night he died. And I love this. This is probably some of my favorite artwork in the story because it's just full like Noré style, and because it's like a flashback to the 90s. I just absolutely love these two panels. And he's like, back in the 90s, you know, I got money hid away. You know, the boss's son is telling him, he's like, you don't look it. And besides, this ain't about money. I made a promise to never wear this mask again. I'm breaking my promise tonight to remove you from the world. And he's like, why, you know, the mobster's son is like, why are you doing this? He's like, the waitress and God knows how many more. Blam! Like, ooh, man, like that. Damn, man. After watching, like, The Irishman and shit, like, these are so good. And, he's like, okay, yeah, I remember him. He was slipping Mickeys into drinks, taking advantage of women. One of them I knew. And then the guy goes, huh, so you're telling me you whacked the guy and didn't even steal the score? He ordered the other two guys on the heist whacked so that he wouldn't have to pay up. The kid always did like eating alone. And you know, Deadeyes goes like, maybe the loot's still out there for some lucky asshole to find. And the mobster goes, I bet I know exactly where it's at. And he's like, sounds like you're trying to set me up. He's like, nah, now I'm fucked no matter what. He's like, do tell. He's like, I was already on the boss's shit list, and I'm the only guy that doesn't have his head caved in. He's gonna think I cut a deal. He'll probably give me the blowtorch before they cut me up and throw me in the harbor. Like, come on, this is such good writing. You better just give me the bullet. I'll tell you where the money is if you promise to set my wife up with half the take. Yeah, why would you trust me to do that? 'Cause you're gonna take that mask off, look me in the eyes, and swear on whoever you love, or I ain't saying shit, and I'll know if you're lying. And you know, he contemplates it for a moment, but $10 million? Like he said, he ain't never got a score like that. Not even close. And he gets this, he's done. But man, it just seems a little sus. But you know, he's like, you got a deal. If I recover the money, I'll deliver half to your family. And he shows his face, man. I was surprised he did that. He's like, okay, my wife's name is Betty Ferrant. Back in the day, I was the foreman on this job, converting a shithole dorm on Charles Gate East into condos. It's probably stashed in there somewhere. So he honestly doesn't know for sure. You know, I hired the boss nephew to hang sheetrock when he died. It was a no-show job. You know, he says, if, he's like, you got a deal if I recover the money. And he's like, they thought he needed character, and he's like, yeah, well, they were right about that. Betty will want a closed casket while he's pressing the gun up to his damn, you know, his forehead. And we get, you know, we don't even see it, and you just hear it, like, because they're inside the ambulance, like, parked in the middle of nowhere at this point. And you just hear, blam! And, you know, and he leaves the gun. And, man, he goes, Surrey. Directions to Charles Gate East. Charles Gate East is 2.3 miles away. Continue walking to Commonwealth Avenue. So he's going straight there for that score. Man, it won't be a regular issue if everything just goes normal, in my opinion. So something is going down, and I don't know if this guy was being completely honest, but it's a little weird, you know. I mean, the guy basically giving his life up like that, you know. That was a little weird, but maybe he really did think he might know where it is, and he knew that no matter what, he was fucked. And the boss, he'd rather just take a bullet to the head instead of getting tortured. And, you know, with the blowtorch and shit. So man, that dude, just the writing in this, the artwork, like the realness. I mean, shit like this happened in the mob in the old days. I mean, just watch The Irishman, Goodfellas, Casino. Like shit like this for real went down. And but man, dude, this was just so good. Like I can't stress it enough. If you're not reading this, I highly recommend it. Like if you're into any of those type of mobster movies, this has like a mobster feel with kind of like a semi wannabe hero hitman in a way. Like you could tell like he wants to kind of be good, but you know he's not really that. He's not that good of a person. I mean, he's kind of like the Punisher in a way. Kind of like a Punisher in my opinion, where he's really just taking out mobsters and stuff. He's not killing innocents, you know, and you know the people he takes out in his eyes are bad. So yeah, man, I cannot wait for issue 4. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys thought of this issue. If you're not reading it, like I said, man, highly recommend. But yeah, if you guys can hit that like button on your way out, hit the subscribe if you're new, hit that bell notification so you can get all updates on all of my upcoming videos. I try to drop at least one video a day. You know, once in a while I'll take a break, but yeah, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.